Well, the regular season is officially over. Are you ready for the playoffs? Hello everyone and welcome back to Tampa Bay Sports Daily in this regular season finale episode of Bolts Breakdown. And first off, I would like to make a promise and say something about next season. I will have an episode for every game next season. I know it was a little iffy. I did some videos in December, did some videos in January, March, and jumped around a bit. But next year I would cover these games a lot better and have more coverage of them, I guess. And that includes on social media, as well as the Lightning fall in the regular season finale 4-2 to the New York Rangers in what meant nothing to either team, as even if the Lightning won, they wouldn't have helped them in any situation, and if they've lost, it wouldn't have hurt them, which they did indeed do. And this game was tough to wrap my head around because they struggled really at the start of this game. Lightning couldn't get anything going to start this game off, and just couldn't get any offense going. But then when they tried to, it was a little too late, if you know what I mean. Brendan Halverson was in net for Tampa Bay, and that had a part in this game, I would say. As in the first period, early in the first period, Ty Cart scores on assist from Zibanejad and Garkov. That was Cart's 7th goal of the year, and I think Halverson didn't even see this puck. It was a tough goal to give up, but I don't think he even saw it, and the Lightning trailed 1-0 heading in to the second period, but they let in shots, so they weren't playing horrible, but they looked like they were just trying to get out of this game without any injuries. Then in the third period, again, Ty Cott scores again, making it 2-0, and then Gabe Persault makes it 3-0, and both of those were 5 minutes into the second period. And again, like what I'm talking about, some just bad goals given up by Halverson, and it's what you expect from an AHL goalie who just got called up only for this game. And then Arve Bjorkstrand takes the penalty on a power play, but he comes out of the box, letting get a chance. Rush, he scores on a nice backhand. If Bjorkstrand can really get going before the playoffs, that'll be good. So I was happy to see him get on the scorecard. Scott St. Brun and Mitchell Chasey got assists on that one. And then on the power play, a couple minutes later, Mika Zibanejad scores from Lafren and JT Miller, and that made it 4-1. And at that point, I was like, okay, we're going to lose the regular season finale, but it's not a big deal because it really doesn't mean anything. And then Corey Perry scored a nice goal, nice pass from Zemis Gergensen, and it was a good shot from Corey Perry. He scored 6 goals since being traded to the Lightning a month ago, so it's really nice to see him get going and start developing some chances, because that's what you want. You want your depth to be playing well, like Zemis Gergensen, like Arve Bjorkstrand, likes Anthony Cirelli. You want your depth to be playing well before the playoffs. Shots were 31-21. A lot of those shots came in the third period. Lightning put a lot of pressure on in the third and nearly came back. And they actually trailed in the hits column. That's not surprising, as New York is a much more physical team than Tampa Bay, and they lost in the face-off. So penalty minutes were equal, and the Rangers won the series. They won one game. They won both games in Tampa, and the Lightning won the one game at MSG, and it was a sellout crowd in Tampa Bay. So getting into what my thoughts on this game, and this is going to be short, quick, precise, to the point, because there's not much to talk about in my opinion. Not a bad final game. Once the Lightning had clinched their spot where they were going to be after they beat the Red Wings and the Canadiens lost to the Flyers on Tuesday, I had a feeling that this game wasn't going to matter very much. I knew that Vasilevsky wasn't going to start. I knew that some players, I was surprised that Kucherov, Hagel, and them, they even played, but you can't be too frustrated when it's a game that doesn't really even mean anything, because they've already won 50 games. They finished 24 games over 500. They go 26-14 at home. So you can't really be upset about how they played. because it was the final game and didn't mean much. It really felt like, as I said earlier, they were trying to get out of this game without any injuries and without like anything major. I mean, who was it? Carly almost got hurt, but he ended up being fine, came back in the game, so that was good. So, again, can't be too frustrated about this loss. I know I keep repeating myself, but there again, like I said in my Rays video last night, there was not going to be much to talk about with this game because of just how meaningless it was. And this probably is going to be one of the most meaningless losses in Lightning history, and definitely this season, as they definitely have already turned their focus to Montreal in the playoffs and trying not be a first-round exit for the fourth year in a row, and that's clearly their focus, and it showed last night in this game as they fall to a team that's probably going to have a chance at one of the best picks in the draft. But speaking of playoffs, we'll have a tomorrow in the Bay, we'll have our full NHL playoff predictions. We'll go through the NHL playoff bracket with y'all. That'll be part of that video. And then Saturday, we will have our series breakdown for the Lightning in Montreal. Kind of talk about how the games went in the regular season and how I think the series is going to go, key contributors and stuff. So look out for that video. Look out for those two videos. And then we'll have our Rays video of the White Sox, of them being the White Sox later tonight. So double video day today. So look out for that as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it wasn't as much of a breakdown as my normal ones are. And again, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'll be posting a lot more Lightning content in the next coming year.